Okay, so after a few stages, okay, you will arrive at the boss stage. Okay, and the first boss is Big Thief, who has the ability to spawn minions. And shake the entire screen. Okay, so once you have defeated Big Thief, you will unlock row. Yes. Okay, so basically I do the design, the art, the character of the animations, and the coding of the game. Okay, and most of the sound effects, but the music is composed by James. Okay, thanks for the follow. I really appreciate it. Okay, so once again, after clearing the brick wall, you will arrive at the new ice world. Okay, with the new enemies, they are much more, or rather they are much tougher to defeat. Okay, for example, the Frost Wraith, which is the small little floating guy that has two horns on his head, can slow you down. Okay, and the mutant cube, which is the guy that's not moving and has his head floating above his body. Okay, has the ability to stun you if you get hit by his head. Okay, like this. Okay, so when you are stunned, okay, you will not be able to move, you will not be able to attack, and you will not be able to jump. Okay, but you will be able to get hit. So which means that if you get stunned, okay, it's rather easy to game over. So try not to get stunned if you can. Because if you get stunned continuously, okay, you will lose a lot of health, like what I just did. Okay, sure, definitely. Okay, so right now you are looking at the Unity editor. Okay, so for example, these two are the characters. Okay, this is beat and this is row. Okay, so notice that when I click on one of the characters, okay, the bottom half of the screen will change, and this is the these are the different animation states. Okay, so as you can see, it is rather complex. Okay, due to the various states of the character. Okay, like for example, okay, the character can get stunned. Okay, so if beat is stunned, okay, and beat is facing to the right, okay, this animation will be played. Okay, basically it is just an animation that goes through the various frames that were designed for this stun animation. Okay, you can even change the frame rate over here. Okay, currently I have set it at 90. Okay, so if you want it to be somewhat slower, okay, change it to 60. Okay, and it will play the animation slower. So in a way, it is kind of similar to Flash. Hey, what's up, Dambrani? Welcome to the White Sponge livestream. Okay, so there are other animations, like for example, the special skill for Beat. Okay, each time you use Beat's special skill, okay, he will put on his headphone first before doing his 5-hit combo. So this is the animation that shows how he puts on his headphone. Okay, but if you play it from the Unity editor, okay, it will just loop through non-stop. Of course, there are other animations such as the idling animation when you are not moving. Okay, this is what will be played. So depending on the character state, like if maybe Beat is not moving and suddenly you decide to move, it will change to the moving animation, which is either the right or the left. Okay, so I made the okay, it really depends on the design of the characters. Okay, but for most of the characters, I made the animation sprites. Okay, in both directions. Okay, as the shading will be affected if we just flip the character. Okay, what I meant by that is, okay, for example, if you take a look at Ro. Hey, what's up, Hyper? Welcome to the White Sponge livestream. Okay, so if you take a look at Ro, okay, the left side, this is the animation that is played when Ro is facing the left side, and when Ro is idling. Okay, for the right, okay, notice that the shading does not move, but the eyes and the head on the head moves. So you can't really just flip the character like that, as the shading will be totally off. Hey Rodolfo, welcome back to the White Sponge live stream. How was your Christmas celebration? Okay, I hope that you had a great time with your family and friends and also had some delicious food, I guess. Okay, you're right, co-founder. Co-runner, I mean. Okay, because the light source for stars is from the top right hand corner, which is why I created the animation frames for both the left and the right. Okay, that depends. Okay, for the current existing two characters. Okay, let's see. Since for each animation there is the sprites for the left and for the right. Okay, so for beat alone, okay, there are around maybe 43 sprites just for beat alone. Okay, for row, I think it's around the same. Oh, okay, so for row, okay, row only has around 29. Okay, I think beat has more animation frames due to the animation where you see him. Okay, I think I better show you instead. Okay, so beat has more animation frames or images. Okay, due to his special skill, which is, so when you use his special skill, the animation that is played to show him putting on his earphone, okay, that uses up a lot of images. Okay, so to answer your question, Hyper, okay, yes, I do the animation sprites one by one. Okay, but the manner in which I do them is that I copy and paste the previous frame and I modify them frame by frame. So you don't really have to start from scratch for each new frame. Okay, but I always take note of how each frame changes from the previous frames, okay, in order to control the animations better. Okay, to show you what I meant, okay, for example, these are the animation frames or images for one of the enemies in the first brick wall. So for the first frame, it looks something like this, but for the next frame, I move the body down 1 pixel and I move the left and right legs. Okay, notice the difference. Okay, and for the stun animation, notice that the body is moving down and forward, and the legs are getting shorter. Okay. So for creating of the animation frames, okay, basically I use Photoshop, which is what you are currently seeing right now. Okay, so what I usually do is to create two windows, or rather to open two windows of the same image and have one zoom out on the right and one zoom in on the left. Okay, this is so that any changes you make on the left will be reflected immediately on the right. Okay, as the right zoom out version shows roughly how it would look like in the game. Okay, but it's easier to do pixel art when you zoom in the images. Okay, so this is the design for the Frost Wave. Okay, which is the latest addition to the enemies in the ice world. Okay, so basically when I start from the first frame, which is this frame, okay, I copy and paste it to create the next frame and I modify it from there. So that it will change into the next frame. So I do this frame by frame. Okay, most of the time I start from 32 pixels times 32 pixels. Okay, but depending on the design of the character or enemy, okay, sometimes I go out to more than 40. Okay, but it is usually a factor of 4, which means that if I need to increase the width or the height from 32 times 32, I do so in multiples of 4. Hey, what's up JB the Wanderer? Thanks for joining the White Sponge livestream. How was your Christmas celebration? Hey, thanks for joining too, Asterix. Okay, so let me just answer the questions one by one. Okay, so when I first start on a game, or rather when I first start working on a game, the first thing that I usually work on are the layouts of the game. Okay, what I meant by that it would be easier to show you if I can find them. Okay, so let me see. Okay, what I usually do is that I will sketch the layouts. Okay, something like this. So it usually is a messy start, as I will just sketch out random designs for the various screens that you see in the game. So for example, this might be one of the prototype designs for the character selection screen. So that is usually what I do when I first start working on a game. Okay, as it is easier and faster to just sketch out your ideas and designs for characters and layouts, as if you have to make any changes, all you need to do is just to erase and redraw. Okay, so if I were to design a giant, okay, to answer your question, Hyper, if I were to design a giant, okay, what I would do in the case of stars, okay, I say in the case of stars because it might be different for other games or for your game, is that I would create a small version of it first using the 32x32 width and height. And the next thing that I will do, okay, it might be easier for me to show you. Okay, so for example, if a design is 32x32, okay, like this small little green guy over here, what I will do, okay, first I would design the giant using the 32x32, and then I would scale the image up depending on the actual size that you need for the game. So maybe I would go up to 96 or maybe 128. Okay, to scale the design of the giant up. Okay, it depends on the size of the art that you are aiming for, or rather it also depends on how much detail you want to put into your giant. Okay, so for example, okay, the first boss of Stars, Big Thief, okay, is of a dimension of 320 times 320. Okay, but I first designed the boss from the start using a 32 times 32 width and height. Okay, so this is the first boss that you will come across in Stars. Okay, so imagine this is maybe 32 times 32. So after creating this, okay, I scaled the image up so that you would get this in the game. Okay, but it works for Stars, but it might not work for other games where the design or the overall look and feel is different. So what works for one game might not work for others, but okay, there are some common things that you can apply here and there. Okay, so to answer your question, Hyper, one of the reasons that I use the multiples of 4 to design the pixel art for the characters is because Unity can compress your images if it is a multiple of 4 and if the width and height are the same. Okay, so if we go back to Unity, okay, notice on the bottom right hand corner it says, okay, compress DXT5 7.5 KB. Okay, this is only possible, or rather Unity can only do this if the width and height are in multiples of 4.